Greetings and salutations, students. This will be the last video lecture in our Constitution series. While it may seem like we spent a lot of time on this one topic, it's important to have a solid understanding of the Constitution because American history is an ongoing debate and discussion about what this document means and who it includes. All of American history, including current events, can be viewed through a constitutional lens, so I beg you, learn your Constitution. Anyway, on to today's constitutional principle, civil liberties. We often hear people say that we have rights, but fewer people fully understand what that means. I hope that today's video lecture sheds some light. I'm sure you recall from earlier how John Locke's philosophy of natural rights influenced the Declaration of Independence. The framers of the Constitution wanted to create a system of government that respected and safeguarded those rights from government abuses. However, they also had to create a government that had enough power to govern effectively. The Constitution guarantees civil liberties or freedoms. However, it must also balance those liberties with its responsibility to protect the people. A simple analogy might help explain this. Imagine a child who wants to stay up until 3 a.m. A responsible parent would of course not allow it. Technically, the parent is restricting the freedom of the child, but they are doing it in the child's best interests. At times, the Constitution has both expanded and restricted civil liberties. So how does the Constitution protect civil liberties? Well, the very idea of a Constitution, by definition, limits the power of government. And most of our civil liberties are found in the Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments list several rights that the federal government cannot violate, such as freedom of speech, freedom of press, right to bear arms, and the right to privacy. The Bill of Rights also guarantees the rights of due process, meaning that everyone has basic legal protections. While the Bill of Rights protects these civil liberties, it's important to remember that they come with limitations. If the enjoyment of these rights threatens the well-being of others, then that right may be denied. For example, the right to free speech does not give anyone the right to yell "bomb" on a plane because it could lead to a panic. Where do we draw the line between respecting civil rights and protecting the general welfare? The answer is there is no agreed upon answer. That's why we have a court system to resolve these disputes when they arise. And at times, the Constitution has expanded civil rights and other times it has limited them. Times when civil rights were restricted include the passage of the Alien and Sedition Acts in 1798, which made it illegal to criticize government officials. This was done in the name of national security at the time. The 1857 Dred Scott case, in which the Supreme Court ruled that slaves were property and African Americans were not citizens. Technically, I guess you could say that this case did expand the rights of slave owners, but that's just disturbing to think about. In the 1896 Supreme Court case Plessy v. Ferguson, racial segregation laws in the South were upheld by the Supreme Court. During World War I, the federal government passed laws that clearly restricted freedom of speech. However, the Supreme Court upheld these laws as a matter of national security in the case Schenck v. U.S. During World War II, thousands of Japanese Americans were imprisoned in internment camps, an action that was upheld by the Supreme Court in the court case Korematsu v. U.S. Other times, the Constitution has expanded civil liberties. For example, the 13th Amendment abolished slavery. The 14th Amendment guaranteed equal protection of the laws for every citizen, and everyone born in the United States was considered a citizen. The 19th Amendment protected women's right to vote nationwide. Racial segregation in schools was ruled unconstitutional in the pivotal 1954 Brown v. Board of Education case. And throughout the 1960s, under Chief Justice Earl Warren, the Supreme Court made many rulings that further solidified and defined the rights of people who are accused of crimes. These are only a few of the times in which civil liberties have been up for debate in American history, and we'll encounter many others as we continue our study. Until then, take care.